Okay, here it is, message number 3 of day 14. I remember once my daughter asked me, like, how do you know when God's talking to you? Like, how do you know He's answered a prayer? How do you know when He's talking? Man, how do you explain the Trinity? Like, I can't explain it. But all I could say to her was, well, there's something inside. Like, there's the Holy Spirit that lives inside me that I feel like leads me to things, to do things, to say things. And I've also come to realize there's no coincidence. So how does the Holy Spirit live out in our lives? We maybe talk about it. I don't think we talk about it near as much as we should. But how does it play out in our lives? Like I said, I don't believe there's any coincidence. Even like God, like it's not a surprise to God of the mistakes that I made in my life. It's not a surprise to God that like He knew this was going to happen to my mom. He knew I was going to sell my house. He knew, He just known all this. He knew all these different things that were going to happen in the year 2015. That came as a surprise to me. And He knew I was going to be in this position. There's no coincidence. It's whether I'm recognizing that God is active. The Holy Spirit is alive in my life, interceding and intervening and trying to send me messages, trying to tell me things. And He makes things happen. Like sometimes you don't connect them. I remember before my dad died, I always knew I was going to preach at my dad's funeral. I always knew that. So when I didn't know that a year later, that because I preached at my dad's funeral, that my nephew was going to ask me to officiate his wedding because of that. But God knew that. See how God was working the whole time? Hey Rex, it's not a coincidence there's a penny in the spot your dad parks his van at, or used to park his van at. It's not a coincidence. God's working. It's not a coincidence that I had all these teaching jobs, and then here I am. Or that I was almost like a fanatic about coaching basketball, and now I just don't even care. Like, how is that? Like, how is that? Like, how did I go from one spectrum to this other spectrum? I don't know, but God knew that. God knew that. And He uses all these experiences, the good, the bad, the ugly, to put together the here and now, like the right here and now. What I found is that when the Holy Spirit's guiding me to do something, it's something that's scary for me. There's fears. It cuts to the core of me. And there's usually a hesitancy to not do it. A lot of weird things go on inside my head and my heart. That's when I know it's the Holy Spirit. The Holy Spirit speaks to me through music. Big time. Like, can God really give people visions? I don't know, but I feel like He's given me some. For the first time, I told somebody that. Actually, I told somebody years ago. It's a long story. That's a whole other video of a particular vision that hasn't come true for whatever reason. But God gave me another vision in like June, and He gave it to me while I was in prayer with Him and studying His Word, and then through music, and I shared it with a few people, a little bit. And that was scary because, like, people sometimes say, Jamel, you're intimidating and you're so out there. Like, you're just kind of reckless and just do whatever. I know that's what, like, it looks like on the outside, but, like it's who God made me. And the things that I have in my head and my heart are, like, God put there. So it might look crazy on the outside, maybe I am crazy. So where's the Holy Spirit really leading you? What's He leading you to say and to do? And is it scary? Or is it like, dude, this is like a leap of faith? Or like, what if it's wrong? Or like, I don't know. If those are the kind of thoughts and feelings that you might be having, you know what? I guarantee it's from God. Because He wants to push us beyond our limits. He wants to push us into the unknown. He wants to push us into the supernatural. If it's something we can do on our own, it's natural. But He wants to do the supernatural. He wants to do things that only can reflect upon Him and give Him glory. If I think I'm going to have plans for my own life and how things are going to work and what it's going to look like, dude, I am not allowing the Holy Spirit to work in my life. Now, it might look very regimented, and sometimes not everybody's crazy like me, thank goodness. But are you letting the Holy Spirit guide you and take you on these roller coaster rides into the unknown, where your heart might race at times and your heart might sink at times? That is the world of the Holy Spirit. And you know He's working and talking to you and in you and living and alive. When you have this feeling that you cannot describe, when you are in true worship. I have been intoxicated and drunk on the Holy Spirit. And it's something you never, once you've experienced it, like, you don't ever want to go back. You want to live there. Even in those questioning, what is God doing moments. Yeah. I'm not saying I want to live there, because when I'm in it, it freaks me out. But man, I do want to live there. Because that is when it is incredible. You can't explain the Trinity when you're in it and living it. So, where's the Holy Spirit in your life? And are you living it? Are you allowing Him to live through you? Are you fighting it? Or you're like, you know what, it's missing, but I want it. Alright. Those are all good places to be. That's where God meets you, wherever you're at. The Holy Spirit. Dude, get on His boat. It's a wild ride.